What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video we're going to be seeing if it's possible to win in the Open Master League running a team of Great League Pokemon. Now this is going to be a much longer intro than usual, so if you don't want to hear me yapping away about how difficult this challenge will be and my thought process when it came to building the teams and targeting specific Pokemon, feel free to skip ahead. There will be chapters, so it should be easy for you to navigate straight to the battles. But anyways, let's talk about the challenge. I'm sure a lot of you will have seen I've completed similar challenges in the past, winning in the Open Ultra League and the Master League Premier Classic Cup with Great League Pokemon, but this challenge is on a completely different level. Firstly, the CP difference is obviously much greater. Generally, the Pokemon you'll see in the Open Master League will be around 4,500 CP or even higher, which is literally 3 times the CP of the Pokemon I'll be using. With such a significant difference in stats, even type matchups that are overwhelmingly advantageous won't necessarily mean I'll be able to output enough damage or tank enough hits in order to take down these Goliaths of the Open Master League. A lot of the meta Pokemon in this league also have very strong coverage moves, which makes it that much harder. There really are only a few Pokemon that I've got any chance of beating with Great League Pokemon, and unfortunately it's very unlikely to see most of them in the meta. For example, a Great League Galarian Stunfisk can comfortably wall a level 50 Nihilego, but what are the chances I'll even come across a Nihilego whilst attempting this challenge? In actual fact, last season I attempted this same challenge, having built my team to take on the #1 ranked team on PvPoke at the time, which was Ho-Oh, Giratina and Dialga. Yet in over 100 battles, I literally didn't come across a single Ho-Oh lead. I don't ever play the Open Master League, so I literally had no idea how common this team would be, but that was incredibly disappointing. This time I didn't want to build for a specific team that I wasn't even going to end up facing, so I built to counter certain Pokemon that I could guarantee would be common and adjusted my team based on the sorts of team comps that I came up against. So to start things off, Giratina Origin Form is the easiest common Pokemon that I could face because generally it runs a triple Ghost moveset. So Lick plus Obstruct and Night/Obstagoon absolutely destroys it with the triple resistance to Ghost and the ability to buff your own defense while simultaneously debuffing theirs. You actually win all shield scenarios besides the 0 and 2 shield, which is incredibly impressive for a Great League Pokemon. It's also likely to see lots of Dragon Breath or Dragon Tail users in this meta, so Shadow Mawile is an obvious choice due to its triple resistance to all dragon moves. Unfortunately, the most common dragon is Dialga, which only takes neutral damage from Fairy, but it is a bit slower than the other dragons, which does help Mawile a little bit. Realistically, we have to use both shields to beat a Dialga, and if they double shield, it then becomes bait dependent. As for the third Pokemon, I started off with Pawniard, expecting Mewtwo to be fairly common, but even with a triple resistance to Psychic, Mewtwo still hits way too hard for Pawniard to win in any even shield scenario, so I think I'd probably be relying on Obstagoon to double team it. So with that out of the way, and before we get into the challenge itself, let's start with the question of the day. What do you think is the most underrated Pokemon to use in the Open Master League? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the challenge now. Alright, so going into the first battle here, we lead into a Giratina. Not ideal, we've got our hard Giratina answer in the back. I'm actually going to swap into Pawniard as we do resist the Shadow Claws, but a Shadow Ball, even resisted, probably one-shots the Pawniard, so I have to shield there, and we do bait out the Dialga. Not ideal, not the alignment we want, but it does make me hopeful because we are seeing both Giratina and Dialga on the same team, 2 Pokemon we have prepared for, so hopefully if we're seeing it in this order, we might also see it with Dialga in the lead and Giratina as the safe swap. We're going to shield an Iron Head here, that would take us out very comfortably. We're going to go for a Power Up Punch here because they're not quite in range for me to take them out with a Play Rough, but now with the boost, hopefully a Play Rough from this range takes out the Dialga. But it actually doesn't, they barely survive and they get off a charge move as well. Iron Head takes me out, we've got no shields, they've got 2 shields remaining and a Kyogre in the back, so unfortunately we just get absolutely destroyed in that game. But into the next game, we see Dialga in the lead this time, which is really good for my Shadow Mawile. I'm going to go for the Play Rough here. We will outpace them to the charge moves. So we go for the Play Rough. You can see that only does about 30% of their health, which is not ideal because of that sub-steel typing. Dialga very difficult to take on. But here, we're going to go for another Play Rough up against this Dialga. And this should get the Dialga fairly low. But my opponent, unfortunately, going to get to another charge move. And we do have to double shield if we want to take this matchup. Here, we're going to overfarm quite a bit. Go for the Power Punch, and if they let this go through, it actually won't take them out. I think I will have to go for another Power Punch, which is not ideal, but here we're going to go for it. We do take out the Dialga. They come in with Giratina. I should have let them farm me down, but they now come in with Zacian. And this is going to be impossible to win. Unfortunately, Zacian, one of those Pokemon that just got so many good coverage charge moves, and even the fast move having could be Snarl or Quick Attack makes it very difficult to prepare for. But into the next game here, we lead into another Giratina, and I only left this in because it's kind of a very funny turn of events here. We go for the Night Slash, we get the boost, they've overfarmed a lot, we're going to shield now. They go for the Ominous Wind, they get the boost, we're now going to go for another Night Slash up against the Giratina. We grab a shield and we get the boost again, so you get the boost, you get the boost, you get the boost. Everyone is getting the boost here, but unfortunately, Ominous Wind going to take me out, and yeah, we're not going to be able to win this game, but I thought it was quite a funny, eventful game at the start. Anyways, here they come in with a Zacian once again, so I'm realizing Zacian is looking like it's going to be fairly common as well. I mean, I did know this, but unfortunately, Zacian, like I said, very hard to prepare for, but I think if we get fortunate and we face a Zacian with Quick Attack, Close Combat, and also Wild Charge, which isn't the most common moveset, but I'm sure there are some Zacian that are running that moveset, then it is possible to counter with a Ghost and Ground type like Runerigus or Golurk. But here into the next battle, we lead into another Dialga. If you're wondering, I have basically just kept in all of the battles that were somewhat close, or if we did win, of course, then I'll keep that in, but I'm not going to be showing you every single battle here. But here we're going to go for a Power Up Punch bait, and if we can get the bait here, if we grab the shield, which we do, then we're in a really good position, because now we can go straight for Play Rough, and we will make it to 2 of them before Dialga gets to the final charge move to take us out. So we go for the Play Rough, they actually let it go through, they would get farmed down, so they swap into Giratina, and this is exactly the matchup we want. We can come in with our Obstagoon, they go for a Shadow Ball, triple resisted, doesn't do that much damage, and now we're going for Obstruct. This will boost our defense and lower theirs, so that means that the next Shadow Ball is going to do even less damage up against our Obstagoon, so this just puts us in a really strong position. We go for a second Obstruct here, we're going to boost our defense once again, and from this point our licks are doing more damage now as well, and we should now safely be able to go for a Night Slash and take out this Giratina quite comfortably. So we go for the Night Slash here. Night Slash will be taking out the Giratina. Well, barely not, but it doesn't matter. They swap out with like 1 HP remaining. We go for the Power Punch. Gonna be taking out the Dialga. And what do they have in the back? We swap into the Pawniard. And they've got another Zacian here. So I'm realizing that Dialga, Giratina and Zacian is looking to be a very common team, so I am going to have to switch up my team if I want any chance of beating here, because they go for the Play Rough. Unfortunately, that takes us out, and they Quick Attack, farm down the mawile and take that game. But into the next game, another Dialga lead, very nice for us to see. We're going to go for the Play Rough just before they get the energy for the Iron Head. Play Rough, once again, only going to do about 30-35% damage at most to this Dialga, but they overfarm quite considerably, allowing me to get to another charge move. We bait them, but this time we don't get the shield from the Dialga. And at this point, we're now going to have to double shield, and this Dialga doesn't really have to shield. We will be able to win the lead matchup, but we will be down 2 shields. But once again, they swap into the Giratina. Perfect. This gives me a chance to get back into this match. They're going to go for the Shadow Ball. Once again, doesn't do an awful lot of damage, and we're going to go straight for the Obstruct. This will boost our defense, lower theirs, and it just puts us in a really comfortable position. They do barely get to the next Shadow Ball before we get to another Obstruct, but that is absolutely fine. Gonna go for another Obstruct here, and then once again we probably will just overfarm quite a bit and then go for the Night Slash. Our licks are doing more damage, but they're actually able to swap out, and once again we can see that they do have Azation, but this time they're running Snarl, which is not ideal. That's super effective damage, and they're also running Play Rough, so that takes me out. My only win condition there was if they went for a close combat, lowered their defense, and then we could obviously hit a lot harder, but yeah, not great for us there. But into the next game, we're going to see a Dialga in the lead. This time they safe swap into a Mewtwo, which is very interesting. I kind of wish I had my Pawniard again. They go for a Focus Blast, which is certainly not ideal for us. It means we're going to have to use both shields in this matchup, and since the Dialga is still super healthy, is pretty much going to be a guaranteed loss already. We go for a Night Slash, unfortunately not able to do enough damage even with the debuff. If it was a Shadow Mewtwo, maybe we could have taken them out before using both shields, but unfortunately that's not the case. So we're going to go for an Obstruct into this Dialga, swap back into the Mawile. We should get to a Play Rough, and even if they let this go through, it's just not looking good for us whatsoever. We go for the Play Rough. It is a debuffed defense from that Dialga, but it still doesn't do an awful lot of damage. They get to a Thunder that one-shots us. I'm hoping with the defense debuff that we can actually Mud Slap, farm them down with the Shadow Golurk, but even then we're not able to. This Dialga farms me down and gets to another charge move up against the Obstagoon. Iron Head takes us out, and we do lose that game. So if you're wondering why I'm using the Shadow Golurk, I actually don't have a Runerigus. So the following day I did then go and battle in 10 raids just to build a Runerigus to potentially counter a very uncommon moveset on Azation. But here we're going to go for another Play Rough. We realized last time we baited, we didn't grab a shield. This time we don't grab the shield, but we deal big damage. But at this point, it's not that helpful because we still need to land a Power Up Punch or two of them to take them out, but they swap into a Mewtwo. Clearly they don't have Focus Blast this time because they go straight for a Side Strike. We're going to go for the Obstruct, and this will lower their defense and boost ours. We actually grab a shield, which is really good for us, and here at this point I should be shielding in this matchup, but I don't. Side Strike now puts me into range where they can actually resist it, Psycho Cut, farm us down. We go for a Night Slash, we grab the second shield as well, and unfortunately, yeah, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot there, not shielding in this matchup. I did kind of know that the Dialga was very close to a charge move, so I'm now going to come in with my Shadow Golurk, hopefully get the farm down, but I don't think it's going to happen. They go for the Side Strike, swap into the Dialga. They do have a charge move loaded. Iron Head takes us out, and we lose that game. So into the next game, another Dialga in the lead, and we are still running these Shadow Golurk. These are all on the first day of battles. We're now going to go for the Play Rough just before they reach an Iron Head once again. And we do land it here, and we're going to overfarm quite considerably, making sure we at least get to the next Play Rough before throwing the Power Up Punch. This time we will bait them once again, really hoping we can grab a shield here, and we do grab the shield, which is perfect. And at this point, if the opponent does stay in with their Dialga, we can actually play out the 2 shield scenario, go straight for the Play Roughs, and we will make it to the second Play Rough just before they reach the final charge move. We grab the final shield, and we barely get there to the final Play Rough, and with the chip damage from the Fairy Wind, that is enough to take out the Dialga, and they've got Giratina in the back. Is this finally the match we win? We swap into our Golurk, and once again it is a Snarlzation, which is not great. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do up against Snarlzation. If we run a Poison type and they're running Play Rough and Close Combat, we're still not going to be able to win with any Great League Poison type, so very difficult to win that one. But into the next game, we see a Dialga in the lead. This time is a new day, and we do finally have a Runerigus built, so if we do finally come up against that Quick Attack, Wild Charge and Close Combatization, Runerigus is a much more comfortable matchup as we do tank 2 Wild Charges or 2 Close Combats. Here we're going to go for the Play Rough up against this Dialga. Unfortunately, it barely doesn't take them out. We get the Fairy Wind through. Hopefully that takes them out, but it doesn't. They live on like 0 HP. I'm not even convinced that they've got any health remaining. But that really sucks because we now go down 2 shields. They come in with a Mewtwo. We're going to go for the Play Rough just before they make it to a Side Strike, and I'm actually going to hard swap into my Obstagoon now. They throw a charge move. I don't think it's enough for a Focus Blast, but they're running Ice Beam, and that's enough to take me out, and we do lose that game, which is really unfortunate there. But into the next game, we lead into a Palkia, so the first time we're not seeing Dialga in the lead, and here we are going to have to shield this Aquatail. I'm not sure if it fully takes me out, but it'd be very close to taking me out. We're actually going to go for a bait up against this Palkia. We are at a lower elo, and we do grab a shield straight away. Now we can go for the Play Rough, and up against a Palkia, boosted Play Rough actually takes them out, which was insane. They come in with a Sylveon now, not ideal for us. We don't have a proper charm response here, but we have a boosted Play Rough that does big damage to the Sylveon. And I'm really hoping with my Runarigus I can get to a Sand Tomb bait, grab a shield and land a Shadow Ball. It's going to be very close here, but I will shield up the charge move coming from the Sylveon. Gonna go for the Sand Tomb bait. I really need them to shield this charge move. And they do shield, which is great. Can we get to the Shadow Ball? Yes, we can. Is this enough damage to take out the Sylveon? Barely, not enough, but we lick, farm them down. Do they have a Giratina in the back? Nope, they've got a Garchomp, and unfortunately, this Earth Power, Outrage, whatever it is, gonna take out my Obstagoon, and we lose that game, which is really unfortunate. But into the next battle here, we see an Umbreon, and I'm like, how low have I gone in elo that I'm facing an Umbreon? But it's actually a level 1 team. We do finally get a win, but obviously that doesn't count. So unfortunately, those are going to be all the battles that I'm showing in this video. We weren't able to pick up the win. For the final 2 remaining days of the Open Master League being around, I didn't actually face a single Dialga lead. Which is kind of strange, but honestly, when you're dropping elo so fast, when you're losing every single battle, you very quickly get into an elo range where the teams you're facing don't really make a lot of sense. The opponents have quite a lot of underleveled Pokemon as well, so even if I did pick up a win, it wouldn't have that same satisfaction as if I was able to be a triple legendary, triple level 50 team in the Open Master League. So that's just how it goes. I will be trying this challenge once again next season, so hopefully things do go better for me. I feel like I'm better prepared. It was really that Zacian that was causing me a lot of trouble, so hopefully next season we can face a Quick Attack, Wild Charge and Close Combat Zacian in the back, and we should be able to pick up the win. But to answer the question, is it possible to win in the Open Master League with a team of Great League Pokemon? Yes, but you basically need everything to go your way, and if you have one thing that's just not quite right, then unfortunately it's just not going to work. But if you did enjoy today's video and you appreciate the effort I went to try and get a win in the Open Master League with this Great League team, then make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And with that being said, let's get into the shoutouts from my previous video. So firstly, we've got Fabian Peneder, who says, Shadow level 50, 100% IV Oddish with Razor Leaf is my Great League treasure spice pick. Now, I'm not usually a fan of Shadow Razor Leaf users, but when it's something as spicy as that, then I'm all for it. Next, we got G Wars, who says, level 51, my Shadow Hundo Jumpluff. Am I insane? Well, to answer your question, you absolutely are insane, because that doesn't even reach 1900 CP, so I don't have a clue what you'd use it for. Maybe an incredibly spicy Ultra League pick, but yeah, certainly an insane one to power up all the way to level 50. Next, we got Moogligan, who says, great vid as always. Question of the day, Hondo Shadow Snubble. I already have a full team of Shadow Gardevoir raid attackers, so I will use Shadow Snubble in the Great League when it comes back. Maybe use a full Shadow Fairy Rocket team, and that is a very spicy Pokemon for sure. Obviously, I'm also not a fan of Shadow Charm users, but Snubble, I don't think it even learns Charm, it learns like Bite and Tackle maybe, so that would be a very unique Shadow Fairy type in the Open Great League. And finally, we got Helder Gavia, who says, the craziest Shadow Hundo I've powered up was a Shadow Manectric. It only gets to 2646 CP, and hopefully one day I'll be brave enough to use it in the Master League. If you thought Luxray was glassy, wait until you try Shadow Manectric. And that is absolutely crazy. I would love to see some Master League battles with a 100% IV Shadow Manectric. That would just be insane. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.